Hi, welcome to my channel. Today is a bit of an epic video in the way that it's not your usual type of specific person video, but I think it's a really important one, and I urge you to watch it to the end. If you've just come out of a breakup, you just come out of a relationship, somebody has ended things with you, or maybe you ended it and then have this huge regret about ending it. How are you feeling at the moment? Ask yourself these questions. How do you feel about the person in question, the person you'd like to manifest? How do you feel about yourself at the moment? Has it knocked your confidence? Has it knocked your self-esteem? Are you putting them on a bit of a pedestal, basically because you just want to be back with them? Above all else, you just want them back and you're prepared to sweep everything else under the carpet. Are you in a bit of a need energy at the moment? Can you feel the need for them? Are you feeling desperate without them, and you think that I will just get them back and I will feel better and all will go back to normal and I will feel good again? Ask yourself those questions before you even start looking at manifesting a specific person. The reason I say do this is because dependent on your energy, it's going to govern the success that you have with this. And a big problem, I think, with manifesting somebody after a breakup, when you don't know much about the law of attraction, you haven't been heavily into it, you don't kind of get the feeling thing, and it's an energetic thing. So you go into it to start with and you don't have huge expectations. So actually you do get good results. So you do get them coming back to you, you do get them showing back up in your life, but then they just pull away again because you've got that fear going on, but you don't know that. So you don't know that fear of loss is showing to you. So they pull away, they come back, they pull away, or they pull away completely after a bit of contact. That is so common with this. And then what happens is you get more heavily into this, so you know more about it and you understand more about feelings and stuff, and you know that it's absolutely possible that you can do this. So you get a bit hooked in the manifesting, and then you go longer before they come back to you because you have more expectation. You've built up an expectation because you know this is a thing, you know that manifesting is real, and you know that manifesting a person is no different than manifesting a cup of coffee. You've heard that, you know it, you understand it on an intellectual level, but when you have that kind of, like, I've heard it described as toxic expectation, it kind of is in a way, or more, let's call it negative expectation, because actually expectation is not what helps you here. A feeling of it is done, certainly does, but not a feeling of expectation, because we've expected things in life and not received them, haven't we? All throughout our life that's happened. So if expectation was a thing that meant that that thing would come to us, then we'd be seen a lot of things in our life that we'd wanted in the past that we haven't seen. So take expectation out of the equation. But the first thing I'm going to say is this: see this breakup as something that needed to happen. You have to change your perspective on it, because you've broken up for a reason, whatever that reason was, whether you realise now that you just felt something and it happened, or whether it was a build-up of emotion between you that split the relationship, whether they've been constantly treating you bad and then it kind of just snapped and they went and they've gone with somebody else. Whatever the reason it is, you kind of need to deal with this as if you don't know anything about the law of attraction first. You need to deal with the breakup. You need to process what's happened. You need to process what went wrong between you, and you need to process your part of it and their part of it. Do not take all the blame. You do not want to feel like a victim, because that's the worst thing that you can do, because you will always be in that need energy. And there is no point in manifesting someone back if they are just going to go again a couple of weeks later or a month later, and you're going to get caught in that cycle again, because you'll know that you can do it, so you will do it again, and you will just get caught in this and this is a toxic cycle. I really think it is, and I think it's so important to talk about this online, and I don't think it's talked about that much, because it's all manifest your specific person. I'm like guilty of that too in some respects, but I do think that we need to look at our mental health there. And I know how important mental health is, and when your mental health is suffering, you are suffering overall, and your energy will suffer anyway, and it's crap, you know. Never ever feel like you have to change for someone. You never have to do that. And if you look at that and you're always looking at ways that you can alter yourself to fall in line with what they want, you will never be happy, you will never be satisfied, and you will never be able to sustain a relationship with them. And then you will have seen things as well, like change your version of your person. Yes, but if you don't change you, then it's kind of, you'll just get yourself caught in this cycle of trying to do that. So you have to look at yourself first. Why has this happened? Like, be completely honest. Why is this split? Why has this ended? Apportion blame to each side. I mean, I don't really like the word blame, but it just helps you not take all of that blame yourself. and not feel like you're in victim mode. You have to take back power. At the end of a relationship, you have to feel empowered in order to bring that back. And you cannot feel empowered where you're desperately trying to bring them back, because you're kind of brushing all of their flaws under the carpet and all of the things that they did and said. Don't worry about if you've heard things like, but the law of assumption says, yes, it does. But if you're not in a good place, then it is going to make any difference. So you have to get yourself right first. So look at this as a breakup. I'm going to deal with the breakup first, and then I'm going to see how I feel once I've processed it. I'm going to link to a video online. I can't remember who she is now, but it is on my members area. I'm going to link to it. And it's a girl that is going through a breakup, and it took her about 3 months to come out the other side. So I would strongly suggest that you follow it, you have a look at this, and you think, I'm going to do that, because actually I'll get to the end of that time, and will I even want them back? But it will be my decision. And if I've done that, and I still want them back, then I know that actually my higher self saying, yeah, this is worth another shot. But you might go either way, but give yourself the chance. You empower yourself to be the one that makes the choice. If you just slip straight into manifesting, you will not be making the choice. You will be waiting for them to make the choice. What if I do this? Will they come back to me then? What if I do that? Will they come back to me then? Maybe I'll just try this. Maybe I'll just try that. And it takes over your life. It will take over your life. And it's the detriment of everything else in your life, your family, your friends, your work, everything else, because everything will come back to this. And this will seem like the most important thing. And it doesn't matter what else is going on. I spoke to people during COVID that were having a horrible time of it, but were still fixated more on the person than everything else that was going on around them. So that kind of blurred into insignificance. I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing, that COVID was not so significant to them, but do you know what I mean? So the balance of life was completely out. So I would really, really urge you, and I know it's difficult when you really want someone back and you think, well, I don't want to do that because I know that I can just go into manifesting. I'm just telling you from a point of view of a coach that's dealt with a lot of people and worked with a lot of people, various different types of people. What's 3 months out of my life to get over something and then have that decision to be all mine, feel completely empowered? Yeah, I do want this person back. And actually, another great bit of advice I could give you is don't do too much to get a person back. Don't work hard internally, even though you're not doing anything on the outside. Internally, if you're kind of going like crazy to get them back, then you're trying too hard, you're giving them the power, you're putting them up here and putting yourself down here, and it needs to be like this. You need to be on a level playing field, and you need to feel a little bit more neutral about it. And you can't do that when you're in a super hyped up, desperate state because you've just finished, you've just ended. If I could stop anybody from dropping into this toxic cycle of manifesting a bit of contact, it going again, manifesting a bit of contact, it going again. I mean, I've spoken to people that have gone on for years like it, and it's no fun, is it? It really isn't any fun, and there's no need to do that. If you just dealt with it first and then felt like the decision was all yours, to become very empowered today and go, stuff it. Actually, they behaved like a dick. And I'm going to process that, and I'm not going to be scared of those feelings. I'm not going to be scared of those thoughts. Just to tell you one thing, when me and my fiance split up, which was the guy I was living with before I started seeing Jeremy, it was extremely bad on the fact that it was mostly all on him, and he was having a relationship with somebody else, and I suspected, and he kept lying, but I kind of knew. You get that intuitive feeling, don't you, that something was going on. And it went on for about 6 months, I think, before I never properly found out, because he never properly admitted it. I mean, I know it was going on, and then they had a 4-year relationship after that, and I knew it. Eventually we split, and we split not based on me going, right, that's it, you asshole, I'm leaving. We split because I was embarrassed, and I thought all of my friends knew about it, my family knew, and I didn't want to look like an idiot. So I left him for all the wrong reasons, really. I left him to kind of keep everybody else happy, and I was only 50% wanting to leave and 50% wanting to see if I could make it work again, if I'm honest, but it shouldn't have been, but that was the case. So I did leave. And time went on, and I did kind of want it back and kind of not. I didn't know what I wanted. I was in a right old mess, to be honest. I lost a ton of weight. But I thought hideous things about him, like not hateful things, but things about what he'd done. And I brought that it was all there. I didn't not deal with it. I dealt with all of that internally, to the point where I started to feel like maybe I just want to get over this. But I still had this kind of want for him to come back to me, I suppose, at some point, even if it was just for me to say, I just don't want you anymore, this is done. And then it still did happen. He still, even when he was having a relationship with this person, he still reached out to me, and we did go out one evening. And I just realised actually in that moment that I didn't, like, no, it was definitely over. So it was good for me to do that, but it didn't make any difference that I had all of those thoughts and feelings about him. So don't worry about that. Don't be scared of that. You need to deal with that. You need to process that. If they have behaved like an arse, you need to process that and deal with that and call them out for it, whether it's to their face or just internally. You don't want to get caught in that energy and go over and over and over it, but you do need to deal with it, even if you just write it all down and get it all out there on paper. But I would really say give yourself 3 months to probably get over it. And if you have gone a long time and you're not just, this isn't not a new breakup for you, but you've never done that, still have that process now. Go, okay, I'm going to do that 3-month thing. Look at this video. I wish I could remember her name, but I will find it from my members area. And just see, it's horrible. She went through a horrible, horrible time, but I thought it was really useful for people to see that. See, you can come out the other end, and maybe you would do this now. So maybe you've been broken up for 6 months or even a year, but you never did that. So you went straight into manifesting and never had that time to empower yourself, take your power back, and be the one to decide, do I want this or do I not? So you're allowing them back. You're kind of, you give them, when you get to that point, you can say, I give you permission to come back to me. So you're kind of opening up that, don't say it to their face, but inwardly you say that. But you're just doing that, you're doing it with a light touch. Everything should be with a light touch with manifesting. And then you're going about your day because you've got to that point where you have empowered yourself and you do know that there's more to life than them. I'm just clipping this bit in actually because I thought about it at the beginning as I was looking through the video. When this all happened with him, with my ex-fiance, what I did do is, because my determination to feel better, I really did have this strong determination to feel better, I didn't want to talk about it with the people that I worked with, because they were all lovely and they would have just gone, oh, you're not, you're worth more than that, he's not worth it, and they would have really tried to support me, but I just didn't want the conversation. So I would keep trying to force happy, even though I felt miserable inside. I would force this smile onto my face every single day, and I would come across, I'm always a happy person anyway, but I would come across even more so. And so, because I just wanted them to think, more than anything, I just wanted them to think I was okay, so they wouldn't want to talk to me about it, that they just think, oh, she's over it. So, and plus I wanted to feel better as well, so I did force happy, and that really did help me. It took only a couple of weeks before I started to think, oh, I think I feel better. I do kind of feel happy. I was having a laugh with somebody at work, and a genuine laugh, I wasn't forcing it. So we can kind of like push through with happy if we want to force, if we really want to get over something, we can help ourselves to do that. And I genuinely think that helped me get to the stage where I realised I just didn't want him, and that was that. And another thing I will say is you can do this. You absolutely can do this. You can either just get over someone, so actually, do go and have a look at this video, or you can decide to manifest them back. But please take that time to make sure that you've put yourself first, to make sure that you're not accepting substandard. You're not prepared to accept substandard. You're not prepared to accept the same because it ended for a reason, and inwardly feel, no, this is about me and I'm choosing here. I'm not going to drop myself into this cycle and have the feeling that I'm just waiting all of the time for them to reach out to me, because that is so demoralizing and it destroys your self-esteem. So really don't do that. I know some people won't like this video, but I do think it's important for me to say these things, especially at the moment. I'm thinking, the more I deal with various different people, the more I see different people's energy and what places people are in and how it works for some people and how some people get very stuck, and sort of helping them get past that. I think, why am I not talking about this? I think I did make a video about this maybe a couple of years ago, but I haven't talked about it really since then. So I thought it was important. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I'm an author actually, and if you've never been to this channel before, I'd love for you to subscribe, that'd be awesome. I write books, they're all listed below, and you can book up Zoom coaching with me, and you can book up email coaching with me via my website. Just pop along and see what I have on there. You can also order personalised subliminals, which might help depending. I really like personalised subliminals when it comes to kind of self-concept and that sort of thing. So all that remains for me to say is thanks for watching.